Okay, hello guys, y'all, whatever. We are so excited that y'all are here. Welcome to the Fit for His Glory Sisters Coach webinar, coach info group, whatever you want to call it. We are so glad that you are here. We know that this can be scary to jump on things like this. Even if you're just watching the recording, you're taking a step out there and you're watching something to learn more information about something that, well, okay, my Apple Watch told me they can't understand me. But I know this can be scary, and we are just really, really thankful that you are here and hope that you know that you are loved and welcome just as you are in this space. And yeah, we're just proud of you for taking that step forward, and so glad that you are here. So my name is Anna Bay. I am not the mama bear of Fit for His Glory Sisters. I am one of the leaders, but Caroline is not feeling very well, so I'm stepping in last minute. That's why I look like this. But I'm stepping in last minute to take her place, just to come on here and tell y'all a little bit about my story, and also to me what makes a great coach. So just to start with, so I am a little unique in how I got here, in the fact that I was actually a customer for 3 years before I decided to coach, which, looking back, I know everything happens for a reason, but man, I wish I could go back and tell myself all the things that I want to tell y'all tonight. When I first started, and I didn't know much about coaching when I first started the programs, I answered a Facebook ad. I was like 35 pounds overweight. I was engaged, had never had a weight problem with that like before. Gained a ton of weight over a summer, because you know that happy puppy love when you just eat out all the time and you don't think about it and you don't exercise together and you're just sitting on the couch and you're just, you gain that happy weight. And that's what happened to me. And at that time, my fiance, now my husband of 5 years, which is crazy to say, but I was very overweight, very unhealthy, really struggling with depression, anxiety, and I just knew that I needed something. I knew that I needed a change in my life, or I was going to go down a direction that I didn't want to go in. My family has a history of health problems, and I didn't want to go down that road. So I came across a very random Facebook group of a different coach. She was running a Sweating for the Wedding challenge group back then. And she said, I'm looking for 5 women who are looking to lose 15 pounds for their wedding. And I'm like, yes, me. I am looking to lose 15 pounds before my wedding. Had no idea it was Beachbody. Had no idea what coaching even was. I had no idea. I'm military. We are military. And at that point, we had already legally gotten married. So I was able to sign up as a coach without having to pay the coach fee. Fun fact, Beachbody is amazing. And they know that military women, it's very hard for us to find careers when we're moving around every 2 to 4 years. And so they make that coach fee free. And I just think that is really, really cool that they do that. So signed up that way to get the discount on Shakeology and all of that. And I just took it and ran with it. And I lost 45 pounds in less than a year doing these programs, and they completely changed my life. So fast forward a couple of years, I'm married. Then I went through pregnancy, had a very healthy pregnancy. I think because of these programs, because I had that foundation, had Sawyer. We have a little 3-year-old little boy now. And so I'm postpartum. I'm struggling with postpartum anxiety and depression. I was really struggling with not having a thing for me, because I was doing grad school counseling for substance abuse counseling. I was in school for that and decided to step away from that because, number one, military and moving every few years makes it very hard to stay certified in every state that you move in and all of that stuff. And two, I decided I wanted to stay at home with Sawyer, and thankfully we can do that because of Keith's job. So as much as I love being a mom, I was also really struggling with that, but I knew that I loved fitness. I knew that I loved these programs, and I came across Caroline and I saw that she was doing this in a way, because I thought that MLMs were super scammy and super gross, as most people do before they ever really do their research. And I saw her doing this in a way that not only was genuine and I just thought in a really good way of how you could do an MLM, but also spreading the gospel and also using it as a platform to love on women in a way that Jesus loves us, and helping women to see themselves as God sees them in the mirror, rather than focusing on a number on a scale or what size your pants are. And I didn't even know that coaches were out there like that. And so that triggered my interest, right? Like, wow, I really love this. And I could see myself doing that. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if she would even want me on her team. I had no idea. And we were sitting there. I'm that crazy person that signed up as a coach in December who does that around Christmas time, me. And Keith and I were sitting on the couch one night. I said, I feel like this could be something that I could do. I'm already a walking billboard for this company, which, like I said, that's not very normal that people, are challengers for that long before they decide to coach. I'm already a walking billboard. I already talk about it a ton because they changed the way that I ate, changed the way that I looked at exercise. Like, these programs have already changed so much. I think I could do something like this. And he said, well, just message her. Like, what's the worst that could happen? I'm thinking, well, she is Insta famous. She's not going to want to talk to me. Like, why would she want anything to do with me? Of course, she messaged me right back. We hopped on a phone call. It was absolutely amazing. And I knew right away. I got off that phone call and was in tears because for the first time in a really long time, and I'll get emotional thinking about it, I felt like this was something that I was truly meant to do, because as much as I love the idea of doing counseling, I knew that I wanted to stay at home, but that desire inside of me that God has placed inside of me to help people was still there. And that's what was missing. And that's what coaching gave me an opportunity to combine my love for helping people and sharing the gospel and, loving on people and fitness, two things that I truly love. And it gave me an outlet to do both while also staying at home with my son. And so that was almost I guess it was almost exactly 2.5 years ago. And I haven't looked back since. And I have absolutely loved every minute of it. It has given me a community that is unmatched. And like I said, I'm a military wife, so I move a lot. And these girls are the same. They are my constant, no matter where I move, no matter if I move to a different country or I just move across country again, because we moved here in Colorado in the middle of a pandemic. And these girls listened to me cry about not being able to find a house. And they were with me every step of the way. And they're my constant. And it has just been in such a blessing to me and my family and my marriage and me as a mom. And I'm a completely different person than I was 2.5 years ago before I started coaching. And I'm just very, very thankful, which is why we're on here, because we all have stories like this about coaching and how it's changed our lives and how much it has blessed our family and our clients and these girls that join our community. So that's a little bit, just a very short version of my story. I hope that maybe you can relate to something in that. But like I said, I have never second guessed it. I've absolutely loved every minute of it. And I'm just so thankful. So, okay, enough about me. I'm going to tell you just a few things that I personally think make a great coach. And it's probably not going to be what you think, because it's very, very simple things. But I'm going to first tell you what you don't have to be. You do not have to be a marketing expert. You do not have to have 10,000 followers on Instagram. You don't even have to have, 200 followers on Instagram. You can talk to any of us. We all started out with 0. You do not have to be a pro at any of this. You do not have to be at your goal weight and have abs. I don't have abs. I don't want abs. Sorry, y'all, you're going to probably hear my child in the back. I know what it takes to have abs, and I would rather eat my pizza and drink my wine on Friday nights, just to be completely honest. So you don't have to have abs to be a coach. You don't have to be this perfect beach body. You don't have to be an expert at anything. So those are the things that you don't have to have. You don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to send hey girl messages. I could go on and on and on. But here are just 4 things that I think that you do need just to be willing to work towards to be a great coach. Number 1, and that's have a strong why. If you're going to do this, you need to decide why you're going to do this, because that strong why is going to push you through days that you don't feel like showing up. We all have days that we don't feel like showing up. Caroline has been doing this for like 7 years. She will tell you in 7 years, you're not going to have days. You're always going to have days that you don't feel like doing this. But that why, whether it be, your desire to help people, whether it be your desire to make an income for your family, whether that be a full-time income and you want to stay at home with your babies, or you just want to be able to go to Target without stressing about it. That's a big thing for me. The fact that I could just go to Target and buy a Starbucks drink and a dog cookie, those little Target dog cookies for my son, and walk around and not stress about it. That's life-changing to me, honestly. Whatever your why looks like, it needs to be strong. Your why is going to change over time, and that's okay. But to start with, you need to have a strong why. And number 2, you need to come in this with a servant's heart, especially with our team. We are a Christian team, and that means that God is in the center of every single thing that we do. And that means that he is definitely in the center when it comes to helping our people. And it's about them and not us. If you come into this with a me attitude, you're not going to get a whole lot out of it. But if you come into this with a servant's heart, and I just want to be a light in a very secular, dark industry, I want to help people, I want to make a difference in people's lives, you will be blown away with what comes back to you with a servant's heart. So that's number 2. Number 3, a willingness to show up and learn. Like I said, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know everything. The coaches that I see succeed the most are the ones who are just willing to jump into it and learn as they go. You don't have to wait until you know everything to help someone, but you do have to just be willing to learn and be willing to grow and change a little bit, which is what we do as people. That's what we should be doing. So as long as you're coming into this willing, like, hey, I don't know everything, but I want to learn. That's really it. As far as like, you don't have to be an expert, you just have to be willing to learn. And then number 4, and this is probably one of the biggest things I see coaches struggle with, is being true to yourself. Coming into this, trying to push away the comparison, which I know is so hard to do, but someone else that out there needs you. There's someone out there who isn't going to relate to me. They're not going to relate to Shay. They're not going to relate to Rose, but they will relate to you. So if you come into this and you try to be me or Caroline or whoever else, well, that's not going to do you any good, because you need to be you. You are amazing. You are a child of God. You are uniquely, individually made. And that is so beautiful. So if you can come into this and just be true to yourself and find ways to show up that is you, that's going to come back to you 10 times fold. So like I said, having a strong why, servant's heart, and a willingness to show up and learn, and being yourself, to me, those are the top 4 things that I know just from personal experience make a great coach. So that's all I got for you. I am going to pass it over to Shay now.
I think it might be Rose, or I can go ahead, but I think it's Rose.
Yeah, it's me. No problem.
I couldn't remember the order. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, I'll pass it on to Rose then.
Yeah, no problem. Hey girls, I am Rose. I am from California, and so excited to be here with you guys tonight and just share with you guys about coaching and share a little bit about my story. So first off, you most likely hear an accent, and that's because English is my 3rd language. My first one is German. My second one is Spanish. I grew up in South America with my German family and came to the United States in 2012. And basically, that's also where my health journey started in 2012 when I came to America. I struggled with an eating disorder and with depression for pretty much my entire life, starting all the way down in childhood. And I suffered under a binge eating disorder. What that means is that you have periods of where you eat a lot and periods where you eat nothing, and in order to control your weight. So I did everything I possibly could to be skinny, and never was skinny. When I came to America in 2012, I came mainly to get my master's in mental health. I also noticed that my eating disorder was just really messing with me, being away from my family, and I would just do everything to fill my emotions with food. And it was around that time where I chose that I was going to join a gym and start working out in a gym just in order to do something. And so I was part of the gym for my entire time in grad school. But then after grad school, I started to work as a mental health therapist. And when you start working any career in the beginning, you work crazy hours. And I feel like, especially as a mental health therapist, you adapt to people's schedule. And so I was working early mornings, late nights, during the day, just lots and lots of hours. And I wasn't able to go to the gym anymore. And it was around that time that I decided that I needed to do something different for my health in order to be able to continue working on my health, because I had made so much progress with my eating disorder. I had learned so much about even my own depression while I went through the program of mental health. And I really wanted to continue this journey. And it was around that time where I saw an invitation from Caroline, I believe on Instagram. I don't remember actually where I saw it, but I saw an invitation to join one of her challenge groups. And I'm like, okay, at-home fitness, I've never done it. I'm actually, with the time, actually really fell in love with the gym and with the workouts at the gym. But hey, I can't do it with my schedule. So I am going to go ahead and join her challenge group. So I was one of those challengers that signed up very exciting and did not show once with her workout. Not once. I introduced myself into the first post and I was all excited. And that excitement only stayed for 2 days and it was gone. I did not do the workout. I did not show up for her challenge groups, for nothing, absolutely nothing. And then I messaged her and told her that I was not going to be able to do this. It was just too much. I just felt it was too overwhelming for me at the moment, saying goodbye to my gym life, which I had loved so much, and then still working on my eating disorder and my depression. It was just, everything was just too much. She sent me a text, I think 10 voice messages. I actually maybe have never told her that, just encouraging voice messages, but I think I've never told her that, but I did not listen to those voice messages for an entire year. That's how overwhelmed I was at the moment. I still have them, actually. I kept them the moment when I listened to them. Anyway, this is just to show you guys where I started. And then I was sometimes doing the workouts and sometimes not. And then she was on a trip. So when you work as a Beachbody coach, you get amazing trips. Annabelle, she was just at one a few weeks ago, right? And they are just absolutely the best thing that you get to do. And she was on one of those trips at the beach. And you guys, I am a beach lover. I will do everything for a cute dress and for a trip to the beach. So she was at this beach trip and I saw her just having a blast. And I'm like, dang it, what is she doing that she is having all these people? And she had a group of girls there, which was also something I was missing because I was working so much and grad school was intense. And I felt like I didn't have a group of girls to just hang out with. I had my groups I studied with, but not just girlfriends to just talk about whatever. And so I texted him like, hey, whatever you're doing, like, I want that live. So what do I need to do? She sent me an invitation to start coaching. And again, I had this moment of like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And I signed up that same evening to start to do the coaching. And the next day I was scared. And the next day I emailed her or texted her and said, hey, you know what? I need to wait a little bit. I don't know. I'm not sure what I did yesterday, but I don't think I can do this. And she's like, how long do you need to wait? I'm like, I don't know. I just need to wait. So I waited 6 months. And today, when I look back, those 6 months, I'm still sad that I lost those 6 months because I feel like those 6 months could have been such a beautiful preparation for myself to get myself ready and grow to become a coach. And after those 6 months, that was also then when Annabelle started around the same time and Shay started around that same time. That's when I decided I was going to go all in and make the decision to not just work on my own health and fitness journey, but also help others along the way. And now I want to go into the topic. I want to talk about what is it that you need. So Annabelle talked about what do you need to be a good coach. And I want to talk about a lie that some of us often believe, and I believed it myself, is that you need to know everything in order to be a coach. You need to have all the titles. You need to be a nutritionist. You need to be a personal trainer. You need to be a businessman, business coach, mentor, all the titles. That's what I did, I believe too, which is the main reason why I waited for 6 months. So I signed up and I was like, dang it, like, what are all the things that are going to be asked of me? Like, I do have a degree in nutrition and I was getting my degree in mental health, but is that enough in order for me to actually help people? Because actually I am a diploma freak. Like, the more, I always dreamt of having an entire wall of lots of diplomas. I thought that the more diplomas I have, the smarter I'm going to be, which is not true, you guys. And yeah, so I was looking into actually, how can I now become like personal training? How can I become a diploma in this area so that I can put on my Instagram and I have all these things so that people will believe me that I can actually help them. Well, guess what, you guys? People do not really ask you for all the diplomas you have. People have never asked me for my nutrition diploma. People have never asked me for my 3 years that I spent on learning about corrective exercise. The only thing that people actually care about the moment that you talk to them is if you really care about them. The only thing that people really want to know the moment you talk to them is if you really connect with them, their story, and their heart. So one of the first lies that we often believe, and that's not true, is that I need to know everything. I need to have all the titles. That's a lie. You don't. The only thing you need to have in order to succeed in this business is, like Annabelle said, is a heart of service, to be willing to serve and to be willing to go beyond to help the people to have results. Another lie that we often hear is that we have to have a big Instagram following and lots of people who are interacting with our content. That's also a lie. When I started my Instagram, I started from zero. I actually started a new Instagram when I became a coach for whatever reason. And I worked myself up to where I'm at today, and I'm still working myself up. But as Annabe said, you do not need to have thousands and thousands of followers. You don't need to have thousands of likes or views. That doesn't really matter in order for you to be a successful coach. And another lie that also a lot of times we believe is that we need to be at our goal weight in order to be able to be successful as a coach. And, you know, personally, I have seen that the most inspiring journey, the people that have the most success in this business are the people that take their journey and are willing to be vulnerable to express their journey as they walk along and help other people. So wherever you are at today, that's where what people connect with. That's where what people want to see. And people want that honesty where you can say, hey, you know, today is my day one. I'm starting this new journey and I'm here to help you to do this alongside with me. That's what people want. People don't really want somebody to come from above and tell them all the things what you should do, because they can get that anywhere. And that's the uniqueness that we offer as coaches, is that we say, hey, this is where I'm at today, and I want to help you to do this with me and to help you to get to the place where you want to be. And I will walk alongside you step by step to make sure you have the success you are looking for. So a coach, us as coaching, we have, when we run our groups, we have group chats, we do individual check-in calls, we do individual messages. So there are so many ways how we try to help the people have success along the way. And if they go to any type of personal training, most often it's only the time that they actually are with the person and pay the person. So I went to personal training actually for several years. I paid a lot of money. And it was the time that I actually was in person with the person that I got to have the service at that moment in time. Also, I want to say that alongside with that you don't need to know everything, is that you get a ton of resources in this team. We have an entire library. I don't know if you've ever been to a school library, but you know, school libraries are just kind of overwhelming because there's so much books, so many books. So this is similar to that. You get a ton of resources that are there for you to use. You can choose whichever one fits you best so that you can work on your own uniqueness, like Annabe was saying, and use it to share your story and share your journey online with your friends or wherever you choose to do that. I think that's it for me today. I'm so excited that I got to share this with you guys, and we will have questions at the end. So if there's anything I did not cover and you want to ask at the end, please feel free to do so. And I will pass it on to Shay.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because we definitely want to honor your time, but I'm going to share a little bit just about my personal story and then talk about one of the number one questions we get, like, do you actually make money doing that and how do you do it? So first of all, my name is Shay, like they said. I actually was introduced to Beachbody when I was a senior in high school. My basketball coach made us do insanity after a 2-hour basketball practice 4 days a week. It was literally the definition of insane. But that's how I was introduced. And once I graduated high school and got into college, I've just always had this desire to stay active. Like, I loved doing all the things in high school. I cheered my first 2 years of college. Like, I just love to stay active. And so when I kind of got out of that, like, team setting, if that makes sense, where I was like made to do stuff, I wanted to continue just on my health and fitness journey. And so I went back to what I knew. I was like, well, I used to do these tapes. My basketball coach pulled them out. So I got online, I ordered Insanity. And that's what I did. I did them in my dorm room. I did them in my parents' living room on the weekends. Like, I took those tapes with me everywhere. At this point, I had heard of Beachbody, but if I'm being honest, I really didn't know much about it at all. I didn't know about the community. I just ordered these tapes for myself. And so that's what I did for like 10 years, y'all. I lived in the middle of nowhere. So at my parents' house, internet was just not an option. I didn't know you could download things. Like I said, I didn't reach out to anybody. This was all things I did on my own. So I was like, well, I have to buy the tapes, because at that time you could buy tapes. Obviously now we have a library that has every single one of the workouts, but I didn't know all that stuff. And so I literally would get on and just order tapes. So I would ordered Insanity. Then I followed Sean T through all his programs. The next Insanity, he had a third one. He had T25. Like, I literally ordered every program he released. And that's what I did. And then sometime in this process, in this journey, I came across my coach, who is Caroline Foster, on Instagram. We all joke because we're like, I don't know where she came from. She just popped up one day on our Instagram feeds, but I started following along, and it kind of caught my eye because I was like, wait, like I did those moves today, you know, like I started connecting the dots, and I realized that she was doing Beachbody workouts. And then I kind of connected dots. I'm like, oh, like I'm doing Beachbody stuff. Like, what is this Beachbody thing? And so I continued on my own journey, and I continued watching hers. I loved it because I've always had this passion for health and fitness, but I saw it in a different light through her Instagram. I saw just the gospel being shared. I saw the freedom that came with just truly surrendering that journey to him. Because to be quite honest, I went through a season, especially when I cheered in college, where that view of fitness was just warped. Like we had a body image test to even try out. It just really warped my view of health and fitness and my relationship with food. And so I started following her and just loved the way that she shared it from a whole different perspective. And to be honest, it really encouraged me and really shifted my perspective. And so I had always thought, like in the back of my mind, hey, this might be something I can do. Like I was going to school to be a physical therapist. You know, I loved, like Rose and anybody said, you don't have to have that background, but I already had that heart and desire for health and fitness. And so I was like, I really think I would like this. But y'all, I gave myself every excuse why I couldn't. I had every fear in the world. If you want to name a fear, name it off to me. I'm sure I can be like, yep, that was me. But after a long time of doing my health and fitness journey by myself and following Caroline, the busy season ended. I graduated, I got married, I started a new job. And so that really crazy season, like Caroline had even reached out to me at some point in this and like invited me. I was like, no, like I'm studying for a board exam. I'm getting married in 2 months, like all of these things. But then after things kind of slowed down, and I'll just say things never truly slow down. But after that season had passed, I don't know, I just really felt the Lord tugging at my heart and just saying like, hey, maybe this is something I want you to do. And so I talked to my husband about it. I prayed about it. I was scared out of my mind. Let me just say, because that's not my personality at all. But I just really knew the Lord was calling me outside my comfort zone. And I knew that if he called me to something, he was going to equip me for that. And so I decided to give it a shot. And so I have now been coaching for 2 years. I work full time in the hospital as a physical therapist. Probably should have said that. So this is something that I do literally early mornings, pockets of my day, nights when my husband is at, band practice for a church. Like I fit this into my schedule. It's not something I do full time because I work 40 plus hours a week in the hospital, but it has been the most amazing experience. Like I know you've heard it from all of us and you're like, yeah, like I know you've got to say that. But I do not say it lightly when I say I came into this community and the Lord has used these women, these friendships to really just change my life, to encourage me through really hard seasons, to be my prayer warriors, and just to help me like become who I am today. And so I love coaching. I did not think when I signed up I'd be here 2 years later. I did not come into it to build a business, but here we are. The Lord has completely changed who I am and just given me a boldness and courage like never before. And I love it. I love to share that. So that's a little bit about me. Really, really quick. I'm not going to go into details, but I do want to talk about this because a lot of people watch this from behind the scenes. I actually had a girl message me the other day. I was like, do you actually make money doing this? And absolutely we do. I think across the board on our team, you can ask us and we'll say that's not why we started. That's not why we're still here. If you come into this to make money really quick and get rich really fast, I'm going to be really transparent. So that's probably not going to happen. It takes hard work. It takes consistency. It takes discipline. But when you show up and you work with a holy hustle and you surrender this to the Lord, there's definitely fruit that can come from it. And I know for me personally, I've definitely experienced the financial blessing of this business. Now, like I said, going to insert this disclaimer, Beachbody literally does not guarantee anything. It depends on your hard work, your efforts, your willingness to show up, but I promise it's possible. And so really, really quickly, we make money a few different ways. First of all, when you start off as a new coach, most of your commission is going to come from what you sell. And so you make 25% of what you sell. And so starting off, it's not going to be a ton, y'all. Like you're going to kind of get people in there. You're going to start making some commission off of that. But as you stay consistent, as you grow, as you start to bring coaches onto your team, that's when you're able to see this multiply. So as we grow, we have opportunities to what I call earn residual income. So you kind of get passive income from showing up. You get to earn bonuses for being in certain ranks. And a place that I'm not at in this business, but my goal is once you hit some higher ranks, you get like quarterly bonuses and all of that. And so there's a lot of different ways you make money in this business. But first of all, it's commission. Then as you grow in rank, you're going to start to earn bonuses, some extra residual income. And then obviously later down the road, there's different opportunities. And so that is a very, very general description of how we make money. If you have questions, reach out. We're all open books, but we also do not want to overwhelm you. We just want you to know that this is a blessing. We have women who are home with their kids because of this. My husband and I paid off a really huge amount of debt not too long ago, and that was all from Beachbody, and we had that extra that we were able to put towards that. And so that was a huge blessing in my life, and one of my goals is to be home full time. So that's what I'm moving towards. That doesn't have to be your goal. It might be maybe you just want to pay a few extra $100 a month on, you know, groceries or a trip. Literally, it can be as small or it can be as big as you want to, but the opportunities are really amazing with this company. So if you have specific questions, we are happy to chat. But I think that is about it. So I'm going to wrap us up. Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to drop it in the chat box, or we would love for you to unmute yourself and talk too if you want to, but no pressure. I'm going to leave it open for just a second. Okay, well, if you do, just reach out to the coach that invited you. I hope and pray that this was just helpful to you. Sorry, my computer's doing some crazy things. Rose, do you mind to pray us out and we'll kind of call it a night?
I'd love to. Let's pray. Lord Jesus, I just thank you so much for tonight. And I just thank you so much for each woman that came on this call to listen to this call tonight. And I thank you for each woman who might listen to the recording later, Lord. I know that you have a plan and a purpose for each person who is on here and each person who will listen to this later, Lord. I know that you hold each story in your hands and you have a specific calling for each one of us. And Lord, I just pray that everything that was shared today, that whatever you wanted us to share, that the Holy Spirit would help the ladies, that they would remember it as they process it, and anything that we said today that was not part of what you wanted us to share, that they may forget it, Lord. Lord, I pray that we would always walk humbly as your servants, as your leaders, as your workmanships, Lord, because that's what you have called us to do, to bring life to people through health and fitness, Lord. And at the end of the day, it's all your work. And I just thank you so much for this opportunity. I thank you for how this community and this opportunity has changed my life, and that I can say today that I am free from my eating disorder and that I can live a life in freedom. And I know that there are so many people out there who need that. And I just pray that as we close off tonight, that you would bless each lady with the process, with any questions that they might have, and that you may bless each lady in their steps and whatever you have for them in their future, Lord. Lord, I thank you for tonight and for everybody who was on here and for everybody who's going to listen to this later. And I bless each lady. In your name I pray. Amen.
Thank y'all so much for hopping on. We hope that this was helpful. And like Shay said, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to the coach that invited you or us. If you have questions specifically about what any of us said, we are all open books and are happy to answer any of your questions. But thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Can you say bye?
Bye.
Bye.